Hey there, happy day 747 of What You Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here at your service, also known as Pajama Grandma. Thinking about the rat race today and how it's impacted me in the past, how it continues to impact me, how I interact with the rat race, how I feel about the rat race, all of that, and how it impacts you as you're creating the life that you want to live. Because really, that's what we're all here for, right? We're all here to experience life as we only uniquely can, because we're all different, we're all special, we're all unique. And then how we want to interact with it, how we want to show up in the world, how we want to make our impact on the world. So the rat race is the topic of Supersize Your Business today. And whenever I pick a different idiom every day, I don't even know why or how I started doing this. I think it was because I was moving and I knew I had to move, and I was packing up my house, and I ran across this book of a dictionary of idioms that was my kids', and I thought, wow, this is kind of interesting. I don't think that the kids ever even looked at this book. And I started paging through it and seeing some expressions or some idioms, which an idiom is just a word, a grouping of words that means something different when the words are grouped together than it does when the words are defined separately. Kind of like synergy, right? And teamwork. The results that a team will get are greater than the sum of its parts. So if you have two people on a team, 1 + 1 normally equals 2, but the effort of those people working together because of synergy, because of the energy, extra energy created when energies are combined, you actually get way more than what the people would individually contribute. You get an exponential result versus just 1 + 1 = 2. The same is true with idioms and words. When you combine words together, they can take on, and over the centuries, they can take on a different meaning, and they do change meaning than the words individually. So rat race is the same thing. A rat race is not literally a racing of rats like you'd see in a science experiment, where rats would be, they run around in these crazy mazes just to get cheese, just to survive. But how many of us live in the rat race where we are running through our life or going through our life doing things over and over and over again? Reminds me of the movie Groundhog Day, where you're living the same day over and over and over again, just to put food on the table, just to have clothes, just to have shelter, just to have our most basic needs met. Or we're doing things in a certain way that's expected of us just to be accepted by the group of people that we're hanging around, or just to be accepted by society, or to be seen as normal or good enough or average enough or accepted to a certain group or organization. There's so many examples of this around us, and I really think that the rat race, it's more of a feeling and an emotion than it is an actual thing. I mean, we can think of examples of it. If I think of our school system for the kids, me included, to me, the school system felt a lot like a rat race. You have to do these certain things, jump through these certain hoops in order to get a grade, so you can get a piece of paper that says that you've graduated from high school and that you're acceptable to society. You're normal now. It's normal to get your high school diploma, right? For the vast majority of people, at least in America where I live, it's normal for kids to graduate and get their diploma, go through this series of events. And then whatever the other, based on your upbringing, whatever the other norms and expectations are, so that you can fit in and be accepted by those around you. And a lot of times that's a rat race. A lot of times it is just a battle for survival, and it's competitive and it doesn't feel good. So talking a lot about the rat race and how can you use that is the norm and the expectation for most people. How do you use that to build and grow your business? And it's all about disrupting that paradigm and standing out. And it's mostly standing up and being yourself and just showing up as who you uniquely and specially are, because that gives everyone who's attracted to you permission to do the same thing. And secretly, and not even always so secretly, underneath everything, that is what almost all human beings want. We just want to be loved and accepted for who we really are. Now, not all of who we really are, because we all have these weird idiosyncrasies and things, right? But for the most part, we want the things that are most important to us to be accepted by the people that are around us. So that's sort of the opposite of the rat race, right? The rat race is a race to fit in and be average and normal and not rock the boat and just be like everybody else. And some of us, that is just soul sucking. I mean, for me, one of my greatest fears has always been that I would just be average or normal. And it's interesting, every once in a while I will see myself behaving in a way that's pretty much like everybody else, and it freaks me out. It's like, oh my God, I'm watching Netflix. I'm actually Netflix binging, and it'll freak me out because I'm like, that is what most people would do. That's what the average person would do. That is the exact opposite of what I want to be doing. And not always, not with everything, but with certain things. I'll catch myself getting sucked into the way everybody else behaves. And when I'm behaving the way everybody else behaves, I start to question my sanity first. And then, is this really what I want? And is this really making me feel good? Or am I just doing it for peace sake or to get by? A long time ago, and this is a kind of personal example, but there's some drama in my family. I don't know very many families that don't have at least some drama, but there's some drama and some dynamics in my close family, my sisters and mom, and my dad's passed away now, but with my dad, there's some dynamics there that just plain suck, that are ridiculous. And a long time ago, especially after my sudden cardiac arrest, I decided that I couldn't participate in that drama and nonsense anymore. And of course it was replaced by other drama and nonsense, which I'm working on getting rid of. But I just said, I can't participate in this anymore. And I adopted the phrase, I choose not to participate. So, you know, one of my sisters would try to get me into an argument about something else that one of the other sisters was doing. And one of my sisters got really upset with me. And, you know, we haven't had a falling out. I love all my sisters. We're really close, all of us. But I spend a lot less time with her now because I choose not to participate in the negative behavior and the drama and the judgment and the things that don't make me feel good, and I don't want to be around them. And so my strategy for that was, I'm not participating in this. I'm not going to participate in gossip. I'm not going to participate in negativity. I'm just not going to. And so go talk to someone else about it, but kind of leave me out of it. That's one of the ways that I exited the rat race, and that's kind of one of the ways I still choose to exit the rat race. Is if I catch myself getting caught up in what everybody else in my industry is doing, I stop and I step back and I say, okay, does this feel right to me? Does this feel like the right thing for the people that I'm here to serve? Does this feel right to me? Would I want to do this? Would I want to be participating in this? Would I want to be a part of this? And I found that as I went from the offline world to the online world, which is kind of what we're talking about here in that journey, that one of the reasons we're on day 747 is because a lot of what I was learning from experts and gurus and the people that were super successful and showing, you know, they're flashing their big checks and their Lamborghinis and promising riches overnight and everything else, they're doing things, well, a couple things that bothered me about that. Number one, they've never actually done or aren't doing the things that they're selling. Hate that. Number two, they don't really have any experience. They're just regurgitating things that they've learned from someone else. Number three, they're not being authentic. They're not being who they really are. And none of those things felt good to me. And so I've spent the last couple of years digging through the bullshit and asking myself, you know, what works, what doesn't work, what feels good for me, you know, because everything works, right? Every system, every procedure, every process that people are selling can work for somebody. The big question is, will it work for you? Will it work for me? And so I filter everything through, well, will this work for me? Will this work for the people I serve? Does this benefit us? Or is it just another Me Too thing or a fad or a strategy or a tactic or a hack? I've got to the point where I hate the word hack, right? To me, a hack, I know people think it's a shortcut, but I always think of a hack as a person that's cutting corners, and it isn't really a complimentary term. At least when I was growing up, it wasn't. So all of this hacking, you know, like cutting down a tree, yup. And finding shortcuts, great. But it also, are you finding those shortcuts in the way that's right and feels good for you? Or are you just doing a little shortcut to make a quick buck? There's a lot of people, both online and offline, that are just in life to make a quick buck, and they're out 100% for themselves. And I think the internet has speeded up the process of our ability to identify those people. As communication systems and social media and things have improved, it makes it really easy to find the scammers and the spammers, although they're still out there making trillions of dollars taking advantage of people, right? So they still exist. They'll probably always exist. It's kind of like good and evil. It's going to always exist, no matter how much we want to push against evil or push for good. We live in a polar world. Our planet is polar. Everything around us is polar. Always going to be good and evil. There's always going to be up, down, hot, cold, opposites, right? That's a dual universe that we live in, a polar universe. So rat race. Thinking a lot about the rat race today. And as I start to step into the norms for the online world, I'm questioning all the time, is this just another version of the rat race? When I left corporate America and was building my businesses, I had to stop and step back sometimes and say, am I really building my dream? Or am I just creating another job, a really hard job for myself without the support and resources that I used to have in corporate America in the guise of freedom, but I'm really creating less freedom for myself, which is something I really, really wanted, than more freedom for myself. And I'd have to step back and I'd have to say, yep, this isn't working for me. Got to change this, this, and this in order for this to feel better, in order to have this continue to feel not like the rat race and not like I'm sucked into this never-ending loop of activity just to survive. Had businesses like that, had businesses that stopped doing and let go of because they felt more like a job than they did moving me toward my goals and objectives and the things that I want, the core value things that I'm always moving toward. Today, fun challenge, day 38 for the 365-day do one fun thing every day challenge. And we talked about work and reward, and what is a reward that you work hard for to get. Me, I'll work hard for sea salt caramels. I know, pretty easy, right? Or milk chocolate caramels, milk chocolate covered caramels. It's not, I'm not that deep when it comes to, you know, rewards and things that I really love these days. That, and I've always loved teddy bears. I kind of got away from the collecting teddy bears. I had too many, if you can have too many of anything in a collection, but I had too many, and geez, probably 20 years ago, kind of stopped collecting them, and I only kept a few favorites. And I have a sister that still gives me a Godiva teddy bear every Christmas, and I put a little heart in him for Valentine's Day today. But there's things that we like and that we'll work for, right? For some people it's cars, for some people it's houses, for some people it's travel, for some people it's vacations, for some people it's jewelry, for some people it's, you know, hair, nail, eyelashes, whatever, beauty. That was a hard one to get to. I wonder why that is. So for each of us, it's different. And we'll work hard. We'll put in the effort in order to get the rewards that we want. It's another reminder too, as we're going for our goals, we need to remember to have rewards and little breaks along the way as we achieve things, so that we remember to be grateful, pause and be grateful for each step that we make toward the thing that we're trying to achieve, the big goal that we want in our life, our big, hairy, audacious goal, right? We all need one of those. We all need to have one big vision of something that we're working toward. Otherwise, we get caught up in the rat race because we're just doing the same thing over and over again every day just to survive, just to put food on the table. Challenges, working on challenges. I'm actually auditing 4. I'd like to say I'm doing 4 challenges, but I'm only sporadically doing the homework. I didn't commit to doing 4 challenges of other people's simultaneously and commit to doing all the homework on them. I signed up for them because I'm auditing the challenges and looking at and learning from what other people are doing, what works, what doesn't work. And I've got a secret project in the background that I'm not telling anyone about yet till I actually decide and commit to doing it. I've got, it's an idea that started percolating a day or so ago, and I'm excited about it, but I haven't done my research or my homework on it. I've got my 4-year-old granddaughter hanging out with me because the weather is so cold here. They canceled school yesterday, and it's Valentine's Day, so I hope they don't cancel school today because the little kids have all their Valentines to share. But if they do, they do. So working on that, and I'm always working on challenges. I'm also working on my next launch of my challenge, and I was going to pick a date and look at the calendar today, and I didn't. So tomorrow, yay, I will announce when my next challenge will start and what it will be, and probably what it'll be called, because I didn't like the last one's name. Live Thrive Challenge doesn't really do it for me. It doesn't really do it for me. Everybody wants to thrive and more than just survive in life, but I think it's a kind of a meek term. Not meek, because thriving is awesome, right? But it just doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't have the energy and the power around it that I want my title of my challenge to have. So if you got any ideas for that, hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, that's it. That's all I've got today. Go out, make it an absolutely fantastic day. Have a romantic and loving Valentine's Day, but don't put so much pressure on yourself to be like everybody else. Make it unique and special for yourself. And I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. I'll be with you tomorrow, and we will look at and talk about the challenge some more. And I want to start bouncing ideas off of you because I need input. I need people's feedback and input on what they think. Not because I'm going to do what you think. I have to do what's right for me and my group, but because you are listening to me and you've been listening to me probably. Unless you just discovered this, and then more power to you. Don't go back and listen to all my videos. Most people tell you, go back, listen to all my videos. But there are 746 of them, and that's probably a lot. I don't remember if I put titles on these going back where you could kind of see what the topic was. I sort of just started doing that, and it feels like in like only the last week or so, I've started talking about more of what I'm talking about in my Facebook Live and my Supersize Your Business piece. That idiom, because for some reason idioms are rolling into my life and becoming more important. I don't know why, because are they really? It's kind of more of a business, something different, a business distraction, or a open mind exercise where I can open my mind and think of what things mean and look at things from a different perspective. So it's kind of turned into this little fun exercise, kind of like my daily challenge. It's turned into the first one was stretching your comfort zone. The second one was a year of happiness, and then I did a live Facebook Live 365-day challenge with Mary Nasano and his group, and then now I'm doing do one fun thing every day. Those just kind of turned into number one, they were to wake up my voice. They were to get my voice going in the morning so I could actually start talking. I don't know about you, but I wake up in the morning and I've got like a gravel gurdy voice, and even after I brush my teeth and get cleaned up and everything, it's still like, okay, I can already hear it. Yeah, your voice is already still gravel gurdy. It didn't help, but it does help a little. And so I do that video, do the video and the audio just to get moving in the day. But then it started to become a fun habit, right? After, what's 4 times 365 days? That's a lot. It's a lot of videos that I've gotten in the habit of doing them now, and they're fun for me. And the idioms kind of have taken on a life of their own as well. One of my coaching students suggested that I do a kid's version of these idioms and what do they mean, and do a video a day of that with my granddaughter. And I'm like, okay, I don't know that I like idioms that much. I like them, I like learning them, I like thinking about what do they mean for me and using it as a mind-opening exercise every morning, but is it something that I want to take to the next level and be known for? Yeah, probably not, right? It's probably not my thing that I want to be known for. But it's fun. It's fun. It's a way to challenge myself and take things that could otherwise become stagnant and stale and part of the rat race, and keep them fresh and different and interesting for me. And it's interesting for me, and I would like to think it's interesting for other people too. And I'm sure there's a gazillion other ways to look at these idioms and expressions than how I look at them. I look at them through the filter of my experiences, but everybody else has different experiences. That's why I ask for input on them. Hey, what does this mean to you? What's your experience been with that? Because I want to know what are other people's experience with them. All right, that's enough rambling for today. Go out, make it an absolutely fantastic day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye. Happy Valentine's Day.